The Chicago Bulls are facing off against the Indiana Pacers, trying to keep on winning. Are the Chicago Bulls trying to keep proving that they can be a playoff team? Now, this is an Indiana Pacers team that may be without Tyrese Halliburton today. We're going to talk about it, break it all down, have some fun, as only we can do here at Chicago Bulls Central because it's game day. But first, we got to play that intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host here, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every single social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the shits for today. And yeah, man, listen, the Chicago Bulls are facing off against the Indiana Pacers today. They're currently 9-4 in their last 13 games, holding on to this 10th spot in the Eastern Conference playoff run. We'll play in run right now for where they are. And the Chicago Bulls are hoping to keep winning. Now, this is a Pacers team that is the best offense in the league right now, but they are the second to last defense in the league. So take from that what you will. They also aren't a great defensive rebounding team. So the Chicago Bulls theoretically could feast in some of the things that they are the strongest in. Look for, do not be surprised if at all that Andre Drummond has another big rebounding night tonight against the Indiana Pacers, because they're just a team that aren't the best defensive rebounding team. They rebound overall pretty well, but not an amazing defensive rebounding team. So that does leave a lane in which the Chicago Bulls can try to slide in there and take advantage of that. So let's hope that ends up being the case for the Bulls today. This is a game where I'm really looking forward to Tyrese Halliburton, if he does play, versus Coby White. Now, if Halliburton does not play, that definitely makes things theoretically easy for the Chicago Bulls, but let's not act like we didn't just face a Cleveland Cavaliers team that were missing their top three scorers, and we still lost that game, right? So the Bulls can't overlook any team at all. They just can't. They are not in a place to overlook any team that's in front of them, period. It doesn't matter who it is. I don't care if they were playing the Harlem Globetrotters. You cannot overlook that team and not come in here with a brand of offense and defensive effort that is going to put you in the best situation to win the game. Where's my water? Didn't bring my water can over today. Man, it's killing me. Damn, I'm dying. Nonetheless, all me dying aside, the Bulls are still going to play tonight, even if I do die. So, we still want the Bulls to get a win. The last thing they could do is send me up with a win. Like, that's the bare minimum of what they can do. So let's hope that's the case, man, for the Bulls today, and they just execute as we know that they can on both sides of the ball, because if they do, that's going to put them in the best situation to win the game, man. We know what this team is capable of. We know the heart that they play with. And I think that in a game like this, especially with Andre Drummond moving in the starting lineup, Ayo Dosunmu is going to be a key off the bench. Like this whole run, this whole 7 to 10 days that Nikola Vucevic is going to be out, Ayo is going to be a player to watch in all these games because he's really the most consistent player off the bench at this point. You got him, you got Javon Carter, Dalen Terry Taylor's probably going to play some. I doubt Adama Sanogo is going to get in. You're really looking at Ayo Dosunmu being the most consistent player for the Bulls off the bench right now. And so it's going to definitely be important that he performs and comes out there. And I'm not saying score a lot, right? We're not worried about scoring wise, but you definitely got to come out there and perform on your two-way basketball that we've now become accustomed to you playing. And so if Coby White does that, it's going to help the Bulls definitely in this game. Defensively, we got to be locked in. Andre Drummond's going to have to rebound really well for us. We're going to need to hit our shots at a decent rate. Even Coby with that three-point shot, he's 0 for 15 for his last three-pointers. We got to hope that he's going to be able to shoot his way back into it. But even if he doesn't, he's still performing really well in other aspects of the game. So let's hope for a dub tonight. I think the Bulls have the capability of getting it. Let's just hope that they do. We got Nas in the building. He says, "See red all day." Completely agree with you, brother. You already know what it is, man. Like at the end of the day, I love that, we do the whole see red thing, man. But as fans, we just need to make sure that we are locked in with this team as well. Tay Hollins in the building says, "I love what I'm seeing from this team. They're really playing together and for each other. Go Bulls, see red." I completely agree with you, Tay. And that's what we've wanted to see. This team now has an identity. And that's not something that we've been able to say for the better part of 3 years, right? Like we've had flashes of identity, but we haven't really had a consistent one. This team is really forging that consistent identity for sure. Let's smoke the Pacers. Didn't I already read that? Or did somebody? Oh, I must have read it in my head. There you go on that one. Shay's in the building. Shay says, this team has to help Andre Drummond rebound tonight because although he had a good rebound game last game against Miles Turner, is going to take him out the paint on the defensive end. I mean, yeah, but I think at the end of the day, like we are solid enough team rebounding, but I definitely agree with you. Like Patrick Williams following up shots, things like that is going to be important tonight. Let's hope that we can do it, man. Anthony Vargas in the building says Bulls need to hit 3-pointers. Well, yeah, but I mean we've shown too that we can play a brand of defense where even if we don't hit our threes, we can still win the game. But it definitely puts the Bulls at a much harder position to be in, especially if the other team is hitting the three ball at a decent rate. So the Bulls need to take smart shots. They need to take their shots effectively, hit their open shots, and we'll see where that puts us at. JK says Kobe going for a double-double tonight. Hey, from your mouth to God's ears, brother. Let's hope. At the end of the day, like, I don't care if it's a double-double, triple-double. I don't care. Get the dub. Right now, it's get the dub. That's it. Get the dub. Let's go. Ready for another win. I think Kobe will get out of his slump tonight. That's from Quentin from Let's Talk Bulls, the male gigolo himself in the building. Yeah, I mean, listen, the thing is, Kobe's going to have a big game shooting again, right? Whether it comes this game, whether it comes a different game, whatever it is, this is not, going to stay what Kobe White is. Now, like I said before, he's finding ways to impact the game otherwise. I went over his fourth quarter numbers. In today's daily episode, he's like the 12th leading scorer in the fourth quarter here over this stretch. So listen, Kobe's going to find a way to score. He's always going to, but I love that he's impacting the game in other ways as well on top of that. Mixo in the building says, I smell a Kobe bounce back game tonight. He's going to drop 30. You smell that? I mean, what does that smell? What does that smell like? Like, let me know. What does a bounce back game smell like? I'm just interested to know what that is. But hey, I hope that you're right on that one, brother. Archangel in the building says, love your video on the young guys today. Keep saying Patrick is getting lots of blocks and nobody agrees ever. Knew I wasn't crazy. Yeah, listen, when I saw that, the fact that Patrick Williams right now, it has the highest block rate of any non-center in the NBA is crazy. That's crazy. He's in the 89th percentile, almost 90th percentile of blocks per game. Like, that's crazy that Patrick Williams is turning into that type of rim protector. We've always said we need a rim protector out there. And I'm not saying he's like the world's best rim protector or anything like that, but you can't deny that he's definitely stepped up in that aspect of his game. What's good, Haize from D-Dub? We got to keep this momentum rolling tonight. Billy mentioned to the media yesterday that Sanogo may play tonight. If not tonight, we will definitely see him versus Embiid on Saturday. I actually think if we don't see him tonight, there's less of a chance we'll see him against Embiid because I just don't think Billy Donovan is going to trust a rookie against Joel Embiid if he doesn't trust him against the Indiana Pacers. I won't believe it. Now, if I see it, okay, cool. If Billy Donovan proves me wrong, I'd love for that to happen. Prove me wrong, BD. But whoa, that didn't sound right. Prove me wrong, Billy Donovan. But yeah, I don't know, man. We got Nenort in the building says Andre Drummond is going to cook tonight. First of all, Drummond, that sounds like a drug. So whatever you're taking, bro, like I hope that you're doing all right in moderation, my guy, in moderation. I got unsubscribed somehow, subscribed again. I've been here since the beginning. Shout out to Mark Dollar. Glad to have you here since the beginning, bro. Hey, listen, you got to watch out. YouTube will unsubscribe you from channels. I guess like maybe it does it if I don't even know. Like I have no idea because like it unsubscribed me from the Windy City Breeze, and I'm like, I watch the Windy City Breeze every day. What are we doing? What are we doing? YouTube be tripping, man. Mixo says Billy just said that Zoe is no longer feeling pain and he's going to start running in January. Hey, shout out to Lonzo. Like at the end of the day, like I said before, I have tempered my expectations. Even if Lonzo Ball does return at the start of next season, he's definitely not going to be the starting point guard now. Like, and coming back from injury, he's going to have still a slow recovery period. When you're out of basketball for 2.5 years, almost 3 years, you're not coming right back and being yourself immediately. So, whenever Lonzo's able to make his comeback, sure, great. If it's in the Bulls uniform, great. Like, and I hope that it works out for him, even if it's not in a Bulls uniform, because that's a young man. He's too young to get his career and everything that he fought for taken away from him so quickly. So, I really do hope that Lonzo can make a comeback. I think that the odds are still stacked against him right now, just being honest. But hey, if he can come back, that's all that matters. That is all that matters in a case like this. What's up, my boy? If Drummond play like this when Vooch is out, does that mean more minutes? I mean, listen, the thing with Billy Donovan that you can always bet on is that you can't bet on shit with Billy Donovan. Like I could see a world in which Andre Drummond cooks for these 6 games. Vooch is going to be out, and then he immediately goes back to playing 16, 18 minutes a game. You can't trust anything with Billy Donovan other than he's going to chew gum. That's it. And you know what? By the way, I need Billy Donovan to give some of his gum to Buddy Hield because with those teeth, it's definitely getting caught in something, and he may have to sit out the game. So Jack Holland says, let's go Bulls. Let's get this W. You think Javon is truly not living up to our expectations? This is just a thought. He's trying not to kill Kobe shine at the one. Listen, I'm telling you right now, no player is going to play worse to not kill anybody shine because, again, he's not taking Kobe White's shot. That's, I think, what we try to do. We try to add storylines to something. He's not trying to, like, at the end of the day, you need to be in a position to help your team win games. And you're not going to take away, like Javon Carter isn't the type of player that's going to take away shine from how Kobe's playing right now coming off the bench. So no player is going to say, hey, let me play bad so I cannot mess up the shine of this other player. No player in NBA history is going to say that. Haize, how do you feel tonight is going to go? Looking forward to seeing Drummond cook. I mean, listen, I don't know. At the end of the day, I think this is going to be a hard-fought game either way. I think this is going to be a game where defense is going to be really important if the Chicago Bulls are going to win this, and they can't come out lackadaisical. So I'm hearing Pacers fans complaining their team can't play any defense, so I would attack offensively more some way. I hope Billy doesn't do that Dalen Terry and Terry Taylor combo anymore, by the way. Oh, you're probably going to see it. Yeah, the Pacers are the second worst defense in the NBA, and they allow the highest field goal percentage for their opponents in the NBA. What does that mean? That means that if the Chicago Bulls come in and execute, they can cook tonight. That's what that means. And let's hope they do that. Reginald Short says it's going to be good to see Daniel Tice again, but I think he's going to drop 10 and 15 while Mathurin goes on a tear. I mean, we'll see. Ben Mathurin has killed us before. That's for damn sure. The thing is with P. Will's blocks, they are quiet. Business like blocks, sometimes people miss them in real time. Even the announcers sometimes don't say anything when P. Will does that quiet block thing. Well, I think even outside just the blocks, P. Will is changing shots at the rim, right? And so that's a good thing. Like hearing that he has a great block rate, that's amazing. That's amazing. But P. Will's really taking his defense from a level where he's always been a solid defender to good defender, where he is playing some of the best defense in the NBA right now. And of course, defensive numbers, if you're not getting steals and stuff like that, people don't always pay attention to it. But look at those advanced analytics. Right now, the plus minus with Patrick Williams on the floor supports it. The advanced analytics support it. Patrick Williams has turned into one of the best defenders in the NBA this season. Let's hope he keeps it up. Corey Barnes says, setting up another a date with the Bulls by frying wings and enjoying a Miller Lite or 8. Hey, shout out to you, bro. It's Corona for me, but hey, listen, get it in how you get it in, bro. What is the percent chance, in your opinion, we see Adama Sanago at all this stretch without Vooch? Do we even know how long he's out yet? He's out 7 to 10 days. I looked it up. If it's the full 10 days, it's like 6 games, I believe, 7 games maybe. So, I mean, he's going to be 6 games. It's 6 games if he's out that full time. And yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I'll put right now, because I don't trust Billy Donovan and him going and relying on young rookies. I'll say right now I'm putting it at a 15% chance that Adama Sanogo checks in a game. Now, that can be completely blown up this game. We'll see. We'll see. Omar in the building says, what's good, family? How's everything going? I'm mostly okay, bro. We just out here living life. Haize, in the scenario where Lonzo comes back next season, do you think it will work if he came off the bench? Oh, he's coming off the bench regardless. There's no world in which Lonzo Ball is coming back and immediately going into anybody's starting lineup. It's just not. It's not. He can be on a team full of second round drafted players and he's still going to come off the bench. So you don't bring a player back immediately in your starting lineup that's been out of the game of basketball for 2.5 years. You're just not going to do it. So, and then on top of the injury, the severity of that injury, he's definitely coming off the bench first. And he's probably going to have a heavy minutes restriction, not play back-to-backs. Like, here's the thing. In a perfect world, let's just say Lonzo experiences no setbacks. He's cleared to play next season. He doesn't experience any other injuries, anything else. Lonzo probably at the most is playing maybe 50 games next year. And that's if nothing else happens. You're not going to see a whole hell of a lot of Lonzo Ball when he initially comes back to the NBA. Quentin the Gigolo says, you had my fiance dying with the Gigolo comment. Always have her laughing. Hey, that's funny. Hey, listen. Hey, I pick nicknames for people, but that's the term of endearment. If I give you a nickname or a phrase like that, I officially consider you family. I'm glad I can make her laugh, man. Around the league says, besides Kobe White, what other Bulls have impressed you the most this season? Minus AC with hitting threes now. Yeah, that I kind of talked about that on today's daily episode. It's really the three young players: Io, Patrick Williams, and Kobe White. Like I talked about Patrick. Patrick Williams has made that leap defensively, where he's one of the best defenders in the NBA per most metrics. He's the best non-center rim protector in the NBA per the analytics. So again, analytics are one thing, stats are another thing, right? Things like that. But it's good to see really Patrick Williams make an impact and a step up defensively while he's also scoring and shooting the ball more effectively, getting to the mid range, having spots now on the floor. So definitely AC, it's been impressive too. But just kind of with the young guys and how if you guys follow me during the offseason, kept saying in the offseason, like the Bulls young players have so much to prove that they're going to be able to be a big part of any type of retool, rebuild, or anything. And they've done that. And they've done it at a high level. They've done it consistently now over 13 games over a month plus. They got to keep it up, right? We're not done yet. And if they keep it up, like in this season finishes the way, that's just crazy to see that type of growth from the young players in one season. No Sage says, PCEO Haize, Andre Drummy about to go dummy on the boards tonight. That is funny. Nice wordplay on that one. I like that. Inez. Yo, Haize, what's going on, fam? Glad to have you in the building, man. Around the league says, like, Zach, time to move on from Lonzo. I mean, listen, it's not that easy, though, right? You can't trade Lonzo. There's nobody taking that contract right now. Hell, you're having trouble playing Zach LaVine, and he still is averaging 20 points per game this season. You think you can trade Alonzo Ball with a half a knee? Like, it's not easy. So he's gonna come back. Well, if he comes back next season, the Bulls are gonna give him some run, some tick. Like I said, it's gonna be heavily restricted, but he'll be back on the Bulls. That's if he gets cleared. Zoe could probably sprint up and down the court. The question is going to be how well he'll respond with hard cuts in 20 to 25 plus minutes of NBA basketball. That's the thing. I don't think he's going to play that. I think when Lonzo Ball initially comes back, do not be surprised if he has maybe 20 minutes at the high end, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's more like 15 to 18 minutes when he initially comes back. And that's it. You've seen him for a couple of stretches out there. Hello, I don't know much about basketball, but I want to know who has the best chance of winning this game. I mean, that's not really something that you can quantify in a question, my brother. I mean, it depends on how they execute. I mean, if you're going to give anybody, I don't know I don't follow betting lines and odds like that, but at the end of the day, teams got to come in and execute. What's up, Haize? It's game day. You already know what it is. Bulls for life. Glad to have you in the building. My big brother Spicy Butter in the building says, what's good, little bro? Watching Dre drum. He played old school basketball, simple big man basketball. I enjoyed that. It was missed. A lot of people enjoy seeing that old school big man style game go. And this is another team that he can do that against theoretically. Now, it definitely helps if the Bulls are hitting their shots better than what they hit them last game. But yeah, if you have a 3-point, like I've always said this, like while Drum's efficiency numbers and things go down like that, Drum is always somebody like if you can surround him with shooters, he's gonna feast. And the thing is, and I love how Billy Donovan worded, he was like, yeah, Kobe missed some shots, but it gave Andre Drummond chances to offensive rebound. I was like, that's a crazy spin, but accurate, right? That's just crazy to spin it that way. Like, yeah, Kobe White missed a bunch of shots, but it just gave Andre Drummond more time to offensively rebound that ball. And it's like, I want to argue that point, but I really can't because it's facts. Like, I can't argue it. It's just facts. Javon is averaging almost. It's not just about why does everybody just go to points? Like as long as you guys have been here, and I've consistently educate people on the game of basketball. Why in the world, and when we're having to talk about a player's impact, we would just go to points? What are we doing? What are we doing? Come on now, y'all know me better than that. It's not just about points, my guy, and he's really not averaging the same points either. He averaged 8 points per game in Milwaukee. He's averaging 5.4 here. Where is that the same points, my guy? Now, when he was in Milwaukee in 2021, he averaged 5.6. He's averaging 5.9 now, but he only played 20 games that season. And he only played 17 minutes per game. Like, what are we doing here, bro? What are we doing here? Just imagine if Billy used his remaining timeouts and put Drummond to get those rebounds, those final seconds against the Heat game where Jimmy Butler hit a game winner. We would be 10-3 in the last 13 games. I mean, there's a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas there, right? And I don't think just if you would have put Drummond in there necessarily would have meant that the Bulls won, but I definitely understand that. We all said that at the time, right? People defensive intensity is what stepped up. He's reaching in there more and disrupting the ball handler. He's starting to get his timing down and help defense, which led to those blocks. Yes, and steals, right? Averaging over a block per game. Patrick Williams right now is definitely balling. Definitely balling. Won't be able to watch the first part of the game because of work. But all I gotta say is if we match the Pacers' intensity in scoring, and we got this. You don't want to try to match the Pacers in scoring. The Pacers are the highest scoring offensive team in the league. You don't want to try to match them in scoring. You want to come in and knock them out defensively and shoot your ball effectively. But if you try to get into a spot where you're trying to match scoring with the Indiana Pacers, I think that's where you start playing losing basketball. Haize, tonight if I'm Patrick Williams, I'm making OB toppings. OB toppings. You're topping off OB? Anyway, play defense. Well, keep in mind they've been starting Jalen Smith at the power forward. I think Obi Toppin's been coming off the bench for them here lately. So that Jalen Smith assignment is going to be big for them. Big for Patrick Williams today. Well, with Bruce Brown out, yeah, you're probably right. With Bruce Brown out, Obi Toppin's probably going to start if they don't start Naismith. Didn't think about that. That's a great point. Speaking of Vooch, someone tried to argue with me saying that trading Wendell Jr. for Vooch was a horrible trade. Wendell was average and nothing to cry about losing over and can barely be healthy. I agree. The Wendell Carter part of it isn't what hurt in that trade. It was giving up 2 first-round picks. Nikola Vucevic is a better player than Wendell Carter. Wendell Carter has not improved at all. He just hasn't. He's gotten more opportunity, which has led to bigger numbers at times. But Wendell Carter is the same player he was here. He just was. And anybody who tries to argue that, I can guarantee you they're probably just stat sheet watchers. They haven't watched very many Orlando Magic games. So Reginald quite high, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Sanogo, might see Taylor or Phillips instead. Who knows with Billy? Completely agree with that one. Completely agree with that. Is DeMar taking and making more threes surprise for you? I know he said he would take more, but him making them is a surprise. No, because I talked about this stat before, and it was last season, so it wasn't this season. In games where DeMar DeRozan takes 3 or more 3-pointers for his career, he's usually a pretty good average 3-point shooter when it comes down to it. So DeMar taking more threes, I think, has always been the thing why people have harping on him needing to take more threes. Is because when he takes more, he typically over his career hits them at a not an amazing rate, but at a decent rate. He's taken 2.5 3-pointers per game so far, hitting it at a 36% clip. If he finishes the season at that, that would be the highest 3-point shooting percentage and highest volume of DeMar DeRozan's career. So, I mean, listen, I'm not saying he's not a knockdown 3-point shooter by any stretch of the imagination, but one thing he is he's turning into an effective 3-point shooter, and I can appreciate that. Haize, what would you call a successful season for us? This is a great question. And the reason why it's a great question, because I think the barrier of success changes with the play of the team. So coming into the season, I would have said avoiding the play-in was a successful season in a way. I wouldn't call it the utmost success, right? And then definitely if you can make it out the first round, that makes it a huge success compared to where we were. I'm saying now with the way that this team is playing and who they're doing it without, and if Zach LaVine is traded and we just bring back complementary pieces for him, I would say that if you can make it out the play-in, that makes it a success considering all the things that went into the season. Now, I will say this team is playing like a team that the expectation should be higher than the play-in right now. If they keep that up, that expectation changes. So I'd say that it's a ever-changing expectation, but right now, avoiding the play-in isn't out of the realm of possibility. And if the Bulls are able to do that, considering all the storylines coming into the season, how we started it off, things like that, they got to be looked at as a successful season in a way as far as wins. Development of Kobe and Patrick Williams already makes this season a success to me because they're thriving and being a big part of Chicago Bulls wins. Archangel says, for those of us who always believed in P. Will, including you mostly. It's nice not to hear that the constant P. Will slander because he was never so bad as a lot of people were saying. It got a bit ridiculous. Well, like, so even when I dropped my video on, it was titled "I'm Over the Potential of Patrick Williams." I know that title kind of shocked some people, but you had to listen to what I said in the video. I know you did, Archangel, but what I said in the video was just I just want people to show it. It's not that I'm low on him. It's not that I all of a sudden think he's a bust. That I've never thought that P. Will was a bust. I've always argued against people that said that. But I think that I was tired of just talking about P. Will because of what he could be. I wanted to see something of him start flashing it consistently, and he's definitely doing that. And I'm sure people who never were out on P. Will, they got bragging rights right now. If Zoe comes back 8 to 12 minutes per game for the first half of the season as a backup three, he's not going to be the backup three. He's going to play point guard. What Lonzo Ball just hurt his knee guarding point guard. You want to see Lonzo Ball as the backup? What are we talking about? But yeah, I will say that he's not going to be the three. He's still going to play point guard. And he's going to do some facilitating. The one thing is that Lonzo facilitating is always something he should be able to do because that basketball IQ is still going to be there. Now, getting that lift on that jump shot, it may take him a while to feel comfortable in that. I'm not saying necessarily it is. I don't know. I'm not a medical doctor. But there's a chance of that. So we'll see. We can win this game. Isn't Pacers defense kind of sus? Although we're missing Vooch, we don't really have center depth. Yes, and that's one thing that this last 3 years I've talked about the Bulls coming into the season with a lack of big man depth and a major injury to your big man. It completely ruins the depth of this team. Now, 7 to 10 days relatively isn't that much, right? That's not even a quarter of your season. So luckily, Vooch, the timeline, like it's unfortunate he got hit in the nuts, but I mean, it is what it is. So, he got a dick injury. And so hopefully he's able to come back from that, man. And come back sooner rather than later. Let's see. Half knee, LOL. I can't believe we might get Zach back and he'll play again. I said to sit him like Pelicans did to AD or Harden situation. Him coming back will be interesting for the locker room. Well, the thing is, it's different, right? The Harden situation was different because I think people knew what Harden could be, even if it's just questionable in the playoffs, right? You got an AD, like, yeah, there were questions around AD, but he was still young enough where their Pelicans were always going to get back a lot for AD. Zach LaVine's trade value, if it's as bad as what Woj and some other people are saying, you almost have to play him to hope it's going to up it. But like I said on a couple videos ago, if Zach LaVine comes back, keep in mind his date for return is January 10th based off the timeline they gave. Now, he can be ahead of that. We don't know. But if he comes back January 10th, the trade deadline is February 8th or 9th. That leaves less than a month. Roughly, you're going to have about 20 games, if that even, because there's the All-Star break somewhere in there as well. You're going to have the All-Star break is the weekend of the 15th. So All-Star break will be after the trade deadline. But you have a very minuscule amount of games to really truly up Zach LaVine's trade value. So it's interesting, man. It's interesting, and I can't wait to see how it's going to play out. Quantrell says, Haize, you and Pat really found something special with y'all chemistry. Thank you for that, man. Like I said, me and Pat got some other things working. Beginning of the year, we're starting a new project together as well. So stay on the lookout for that. But yeah, me and Pat's chemistry is great. And I think people, and not to say that anybody should have threw us any bell for it, but when we first took over Locked on Bulls, we did one episode together. And that was a live call where you really aren't interacting. So me and Pat took over Locked on Bulls without really knowing each other, much less having chemistry. And so because of that, when I asked Pat to be my co-host on Locked on Bulls after I got the Locked on Bulls gig, it was because I wanted somebody to do that show with me that I knew was just as hungry as what I was. And I was positive we were going to figure it all out at some point. But even then, I couldn't imagine our chemistry being what it is now. And I think a big part of that too is that we're legitimately friends outside of being creatives now. Like, we talk on the phone almost every day, which is crazy because I don't even like talking on the phone. So it's wild that me and Pat have gone from not knowing each other at all to having this show together, to having a new project that we're doing together, and to just be legitimate friends outside of podcasting. So that's my brother, man. I throw fun at him. You guys know I throw jokes at him. He does the same thing to me, but that's my brother. D-Dub says, Haize, I'm interested to see if we can keep up with the Pacers' high-scoring offense. We've only scored over 120 points 3 times this season so far. We can't. But that's why you got to play defensively well enough to throw them off their game. If you try to get into a scoring battle with the Indiana Pacers, you're going to lose. That just is what it is. You are going to lose if you try to get in. We don't have the depth. We don't have the consistent shooting. We don't have we just don't have it. So if you try to get into a scoring battle with the number one offensive team in the league, chances are you're going to get your ass kicked. So that's not what the Bulls want to do in a case like this at all. You want to come in, you want to rely on your defense, set that tone defensively early, and then hit your shots. But you don't want to get into a scoring battle with them. So let's see what else we got here. Most of Drum's boards last game actually seemed legit. He wasn't grabbing his own miss. Drum is quick too. He gets down the floor hella fast. Get him Big Cat. He's going to rebound them Buddy Hield teeth. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, he only missed 2 shots. So, yeah, and he had 10 offensive rebounds, 15 defensive rebounds. So it really wasn't based off his own misses. And that was really good to see from Andre Drummond, right? Is Halliburton playing? I don't think that they've officially said it or not yet. Let me see if I can find out. Give me 1 second. Let's take a look at. Do the Pacers have a Twitter? I'm sure they do. Indiana Pacers Twitter. That's a dangerous and dark place to be. Tyrese Halliburton is available. They just tweeted this out 14 minutes ago. Bruce Brown is out. Tyrese Halliburton will be playing tonight. So there you go on that one. There you go. Great question. Glad I was able to find the answer pretty easily for you there, Mark. What up, family? Welcome to Haize Sports Bar, featuring the best sports talk creator in the business, aka playing the dozen champ, aka best father and brother to us all. Keep up the good work. Hey, thank you for that, humble servant. I appreciate you, brother. The part that hurt the most was Franz being one of those picks. Yeah, I don't think the Bulls would have drafted Franz Wagner, though. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. Like, Franz is, I would love to have Franz on this team right now. If we can come into this game playing defense hard, you got to give that hard D. Got to give that hard D. If you're not giving hard D, you're failing out there. And keep up the pressure all game. Got to give hard D and pressure. You got to put on that pressure. Like, you never do. But the thumb is a. Let me stop. All game we can win. Pace is dangerous offensively. Defense wins games, like Caruso clutch still last game. Completely agree with you on that. Hard D and pressure. That's crazy. How do I come up with this shit? I gotta be stopped. I really have to be stopped. Man, most of the casual fans are stat watchers. That's why I believe points is the only way to judge the impact and success of a player. That's why they believe. But I guess what you mean. And if as if that's only basketball is played. Yeah, and like I said, anybody who says like, oh, it's this one player, like there's so many intricacies in the game of football. I mean, basketball. Why am I talking about football? That you can't just blame things on one person. But I definitely agree with you. Like, people do try to stat watch and then try to form a whole basketball opinion off that. Quantrell says, Haize, my lady always compliments your drip, my brother. Try re-rocking sometimes. But brother, this is a re-rock. I've rocked this earlier in the season. It's just, you know what it is, though? I think what it is that people really don't think that I rock the same stuff twice, because I have so much gear that by the time I go back around to something, you've seen so many different fits from me. It's like, that's something new again, isn't it? But this is a rewear. If we are above 500 with 15 games, that's what I call successful. If you make the playoffs or not. Hey, listen, I get where you're coming from on that one. Jack Holland says, I've said this before about DeMar and three-pointers. So drain 119 footers like, damn, bro, take 2 steps back. Treating it like he's got to start playing child support by making through. Wow. I mean, listen, all them extra, them side babies, man, they got to be fair too. Christopher in the building. He says, the Bulls have patience to work with Zoe when he comes back. I mean, yeah, I think they will, right? I don't think that they're going to. What do you mean? They're not going to just sit him or just say, hey, go out there and sink or swim for 30 minutes. So they're definitely going to have patience with him. Bulls fans don't feel too bad about the Cavs loss. The Mavs blew a 20-point lead to them yesterday. That's funny. Haize, is it safe to say Kobe White is the one Chicago player that has done everything that we've asked him to do when it comes to improvement? No, because I think Alex Caruso, we just asked him to hit his 3-point shots better. I think he did that, right? Everything else he did has been great. So I won't say the only one, but he's definitely been doing it at a super high level. That's for sure. The last Windy City game, half the roster wasn't there. Dalen and Julian obviously are with the Bulls, but Sanogo wasn't there, neither was Batum. Maybe there's a chance we see some of them. Well, Batum is out. He has a nose injury. I think it's a broken nose. And Sanogo is traveling with the team. Well, not traveling, they're at home in Chicago, but he's also been called up, much like Julian, even though Julian isn't on a 2-way contract. So I think that's why you're not seeing him down there. Haize, do you think we need to drop Terry and maybe get a third string center? If so, who? Terry Taylor or Dalen? Who are you asking? Which Terry? If it's Terry Taylor, no. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's 7 to 10 days. You don't want to make, and again, keep in mind, if the Bulls do sign somebody at the vet minimum, it puts them really close to the luxury tax. You can weather 6 games. Like you can't. Is it gonna look ugly sometimes? Absolutely, but you can weather 6 games. Haize, honest question. What would our record be right now if we had started the season without Zach playing like we've been recently? I think we'd be at least a 500 team. I mean, listen, we're playing over 500 basketball. So yeah, I think if you just extrapolate that out, that says that we're 9-4. So we're playing above 500 basketball. So I think that with that said, if you're just saying this same team with this same type of play, now again, it took Kobe a while to ramp up, even without the whole Zach LaVine nonsense, right? So if this team was playing the way that they are playing now, yeah, it's not outside the realm of possibility to think that this team would have been above 500 at this point. The Pacers got some links. Sanogo needs to get some time this game. Listen, it makes sense, and everything that you said makes sense. But Billy Donovan is our head coach. Should have said the last Windy City game was a away game, so maybe there's a reason those guys didn't go on the road. Yep, there you go. That's exactly why. NBC is looking to regain rights in 2024 for the first time since 2002. Hey, I mean, listen, NBA on NBC, that theme song was legit. If you guys are subscribed to NBA Central, my general NBA channel, you know I flipped that theme. I sampled it for the intro music for NBA Central. Yeah, had to do it. Had to do it. Right now, Chicago sports is running through you and Pat. Thank you for that. I mean, you still got to give it up to other people. Like Jamal at Bull Central, absolutely killing it. Swifty over at Swifty Sports Network, the Swift Sport Network, he's killing it as well. So yeah, and but I'm glad to like have my place in Chicago sports. And like I said, I didn't start this journey at all for notoriety or anything like that. I started it out of genuine love for my teams. That's it. That's what it was rooted in. That's what I wanted. And I'm glad that now like people like Casey Johnson know who the fuck that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. The building says is amazing. Whether it's talking about dipping toes in the why is No Sage calling the voicemail right now? Wasn't he just in here? Dipping toes into people, Zion and porn stars, Nelly concerts being trash, or Diddy being in the cut. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. The thumb, Haize going to a dark brown place. Hey, it's tight. You know what I mean? Listen, if it's tight, shout out to her. Shout out to her. You can't be walking around here with loose booty. That's crazy. That's all right. Let's see if they got the starting lineup out. Let me get the hell up out of here before I cancel myself, bro. Like I can't believe I just said that shit. What the fuck was that? No starting lineup out now. God damn it, bro. I gotta shut up sometimes. I really have to shut up sometimes. Skiz says, "What up, Haize? Tuning in from the UK. About to watch the Bulls get this dub. Hey, from your mouth to God's ears, brother. Let's hope that that's the case, man." Scott in the building says, "I've been thinking about this is going to be the last of these old school trades with the new rules coming in for next year, but it did dawn on me that it would make it harder to trade Zach after those." No, like so. I think there's been an over kind of adjustment to thinking what the new rules give you. The new rules only affect teams if they've been into the luxury tax for the second tier of the luxury tax for 2+ years. Right now, if this was the year that kicked in, there would only be 3 teams into that second tier, meaning all the other teams can still take on more salary than what they give out. So it's not what people think that it is. I think people now think that it's just this punitive more taxes. It's going to hit everybody right away, and it's not. And so it's going to most teams are going to maintain the same flexibility that they've had even under the old CBA. So keep that in mind too. Peace, Haize. I'm late to the live, but I appreciate the daily content. Me and the wife will be at Wells Fargo again next Tuesday. Go Bulls. Shout out to you, brother. Love when people get to get out to games, man. Cannon Peacock in the building says, "What's going on, Haize? Ready to see our guys step up. Imagine if we were talking about Tony Bradley stepping. Jesus Christ, that's something I did. Is he still in the league? Is Tony Bradley still in the NBA? That'd be interesting, bro. Like that. I remember I argued with somebody. Somebody was like, Tony Bradley's clearly a better center than Nikola Vucevic. His plus 36 means this, and this. I'm like, that's not how plus 36 works, my guy. Like, oh my God. Like when I first started, this is the thing. If anybody wants to get into doing this, a YouTuber podcast or whatever, you have to realize no matter how much you know your shit, until you have at least 2,000 subscribers, everybody's going to doubt everything that you said. Everybody doubted so much of what I said when I first started. When I said, "Oh, the Bulls would be crazy to trade Kobe White," they're not trading Kobe White in the 2020-21 season. Everybody, Haize, you're tripping. Is this the hill you want to die on when you're really starting your channel fresh? What the fuck we talking about, yo? Like, it's just so crazy how people just doubt that, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it comes with the territory. Sean in the building, or Sean, love your content, Haize from the Philippines. Shout out to you from the Philippines, bro. What are we doing? Who keeps calling the voice? It's game day. Why are you bothering me? I don't even know where the fucking tab is now. There it goes. It's No Sage again. You just left a voicemail, No Sage. What are you doing? Left my ass off since when Boylan assistant coach for the Pacers. Yeah, Boylan's been an assistant coach there. But keep in mind, when Boylan was the assistant coach here, people love the players love Jim Boylan. I think Jim Boylan can be a solid assistant. He's just not head coaching material. With you on the Kobe equals Jamal Murray comp, I've been saying that's the ideal trajectory for the past year. I mean, listen, a lot of people have said that. I want to act like I coined that. A lot of people said that. Let's see if the starting lineups are out here before I get canceled, man. What the fuck is he still calling? Leave the goddamn voicemail, bro. What are you doing? Starters for today, same starters. Kobe White, Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, and Andre Drummond are your starters today. I was with you on the Kobe trade talk. I've been with for years, bro. I love what you've done with this community. Well, thank you for that, Jimbo. I really appreciate that, bro. Yeah, that means the world to me. What building a community was why I got into this, man. But all right, that's it for the what the hell was I about to say? That is it for the pregame show, guys. I'll be back at halftime. Make sure you guys are following this channel at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See you right if you can, y'all.